What's going on, guys? It's Shadow from SG TCG, bringing you guys the next round at the Sully's Abode League Night. I end up facing a black yellow Luffy. I won dice roll, chose to go second. It was just a pass, and I draw, pass, and then now it's his second turn. Just gonna attach all three down to his leader and swing at life for 8. I take it. I'm not going to waste counter on any of this. I'm trying to find something else to play on my 4-Dawn turn, preferably Khalifa. I end up not drawing Khalifa or stage, so all I'm going to do is attach all 4-Dawn and swing 9 at Luffy, and use leader ability to filter the trash. So I end up trashing a Khalifa and a Tempest Kick, which the Khalifa would have been great to have so I could cycle handout. But I needed to start putting some cards into the trash. I don't want to ever swing at BY Luffy. I kind of want to stall him out until I get my bigger bodies on board. But again, I need to get some stuff there already until I'm able to cycle. So I pass to him. He just attaches all the Dawn and swings for 10. I take it. You can tell at this point he does not have much in his hand. So he passes the turn. I ended up taking it. 6-Dawn turn, you see his hand. It's 2 geckos and a bunch of the little brothers. I just tap 5. I play Sabo, draw 2, trash 2, and I am gonna cycle out the Helmeppos. Helmeppos in this matchup are like a hit or miss. I rarely use them since he is always playing out the Sabos with leader abilities, so they're always immune, and then popping is not really a thing in this matchup. But I got the Sabo up for protection in case he does decide to swing 11 this turn. But he opens up with 3 brothers spawn to search. I believe he's going to grab a little Sabo with the search. Again, he's trying to find his pieces. We saw his hand. He had a lot of the brothers, but guess he didn't have a baby Sabo. But at this point, we don't know what he has. You could only assume that he has some of the brothers. This is the first one he's played out, so he plays out the Sabo to draw 2, trash 2. Big in the BY Luffy because you need to use it to cycle out your hand. You want to get the 5-cost cards into the trash, but you also don't want to have what he has at this moment, which are just all the little brothers and the geckos. So he just swings 6. I block with the Sabo and add a Spandine on it to counter out for 7, essentially. Passes the turn to me. I E-show for 8. Lets me strip 2 cards out of his hand. If I was able to hit the 2 geckos in this E-show play, it is basically game over for the BY Luffy. Because then he's going to have to find his geckos to be able to do his 10-Dawn turn play and continuously cycle out his cards. But I end up just stripping out, I think it was a baby Luffy and a baby Sabo. So now he's already trashed 2 baby Sabos in the trash, which is great for me to know because now the Sabo cycle is going to be a little rough unless he has geckos, which we know he does since he showed his hand. But he ends up playing a 5-cost Luffy on his turn. He trashes his life and draws a card. This Luffy's great just because it's a way to self-inflict damage to get himself to be able to use his leader ability since I haven't been swinging at him this whole game. But it's the only way BY can start to get there because, again, like I said, I'm just trying to wait it out, get the big bodies on board, and then start swinging at him for either 9s or 11s to get the counter out of his hand. So this is where he's got to play his Flampes, his Hioris, which you're going to see him. He ends up playing Hiyori right now, grabbing the top card of his life. So there he goes. Taps the 2. Hiyori hits the field, grabs his top life, and it's a 3 brothers bond. He's going to show the screen right now. Yep. Which, if I would have hit life, would have been perfect for him, so be able to search. And then he plays a card on the top of his life. He ends up playing Ace and revealing the Ace that he just put there with Hiyori, which is the technique to do with this Hiyori. Always want to put one of the bigger brothers and then the little version to trigger the ability. So now his leader's a 7k till the next turn, and he's going to swing 7 at my life. Here I decide to counter out for 3. I give him a Kaku and a Brook. Then he swings 7 again with his leader. I take it and I end up triggering stage. busted for me. So now I have the Isho that could give -3 to his entire board, and then I have the stage that could give another -2 to something. So I'm able to remove pretty much everything on the board as long as he doesn't have a Sabo. So I swing 5 with the Lucci, and I end up reducing the Luffy down to 4 just so that I could do the Brook. So I trashed the Luffy into his trash so he can't use the Self-Awaken with his ability to get himself a card on top of it. So now the only way to do it is by using a Flampe or Hiyori, which if he uses Flampe, you know, he loses a 2k, gets 2 cards, which isn't guaranteed to give him another 2k. I end up swinging at his ace with Isho to either KO the body or see if he's going to drop counters. He ends up blocking with the Sabo, which is the smart thing to do. You want the Sabo in the trash as a BY Luffy player. Because then next turn, if he's got Flampe, he could just take the life, put that Luffy right back into his life, and then play out a baby one from the hand. So I have 4 Don left. I end up playing Rebecca. I'm going to grab a 2k counter. At this point, I'm just trying to protect myself from big swings since he has the ability to get his leader up to a 9k. And then with the 2 Don attached, an 11k swing. So as long as that Rebecca can sit on the field, we are golden. The only thing to get rid of it would be a Egghead Luffy, which, you know, typically is ran at a 4 of in the Black Yellow Luffy. So he tapped the 1 Don, did a 3 Brothers search. Here he's thinking about what he wants to choose. He's looking for a baby Luffy. I know that's what he was looking for. Or the 5-cost big Luffy again, since I trashed the other one. I think he opts for grabbing, I believe, a baby Sabo here while Asian Sushi's thinking about it. Setting up his late game plays since we already know he has the Gecko in hand. So he's going to try to continue to cycle that out. So here he did grab the baby Sabo. And then he taps another one and does another 3 Brothers Bond. And then he's going to grab a big Sabo on this search. So now he's got 1 big Sabo in the trash and he's got 1 big Sabo from the search. So that's 2 out of the 4 Sabos that the deck runs, which isn't good once they start cycling a lot of these Sabos, because again, it gives everything immunity and he fixes his hand. So he ends up Flampeing, takes his life and draws a card. So he's up 2 cards with this Flampe. He's gonna attach 2 Don to his leader, and then now he could do his leader ability and fix the life, cycle his hand, you know, all the good things that BY Luffy can do. So he's got 6 Dons, so he's got a lot of plays that he could do here. So here he goes, doing leader ability, attaching the 2 Don. Now he's got to trash a card from hand, which ideally you want to do a 5-cost card, which he does the Sabo. You want to do a 5-cost card since you are able to play him from the trash with this 3 Brothers. Or you could even play it from the hand if you don't have it in the trash. But again, trash is the best thing because you don't want to trash something and then play something from hand. So ideally, you want to put what you want to play into your trash. So he puts the Luffy and then the Sabo. He does it in this order since he's not going to play out the Luffy. There's no point of putting the Luffy on top of the Sabo. So he just plays out the Sabo, reveals it. His leader's going to get a buff of 2k, and then he gets to fix his hand out. I decide to look at his trash here just so that I can see how many 5-cost he has in the trash. And at this time, he's only got 2, with the Egghead Luffy and 1 of the 5-cost Sabos. Which is good since now I know he doesn't have that many options. If I can get a leader's or attack in the leader, that 5-cost Luffy that's in his life currently will go to the bottom of his deck, which is great since then it gives him less targets to be able to put into his life and buff it. I believe he trashed the Moria and a baby ace there. He's getting rid of the non-counter card, and you know he's not really gonna play out the baby ace at any time soon. Just trying to play out the Sabos to cycle out and give himself immunity and protect himself. So he's got 3 Don left. He attaches 2 and decides to swing 9 at the Isho. I counter out for 2. And then here he swings 10 at the Isho. I give him the Rebecca. Rather just use the Rebecca this turn than save it till the next. And then he potentially KO it with the Egghead Luffy. So he passes the turn to me. Here, I'm trying to figure out how to go about this turn. 10 Don turn. I do have a Gecko Mori in hand, so I do want to play Gecko and cycle the Rebecca. But I want to put pressure on this ace. So I'm going to attach 2 Don to my leader, and I'm going to swing 7 to the ace and use the leader ability to fill the trash up more with more options for Gecko play. Here he's considering on countering out and saving the ace, which ideally it's not the best thing to do, because what I'm going to do next is swing with the Isho at the ace if he decides to save it, which he opts to save it with the Sabo. I swing 9, blocks with the other Sabo. So again, he's just setting up the trash. Ace gets to live another turn. Sucks because he could swing for 7, but I do end up playing the Moria, playing the Rebecca from the trash, and then Rebecca grabs another 2k. So I'm just cycling out Rebecca blocker and the 2k to give myself some more counter cards and a block to get rid of one of these swings. So yeah, it wasn't a bad idea to counter out of that ace swing just because now he has the 2 Sabos in the trash. The only thing here is he has to self-awaken himself, but he plays the Mori out, and he's able to grab the Luffy, baby Luffy's that went in there, and a baby Sabo, because we know that's what he's going to play. So yep, so he grabs the baby Luffy, and he's going to grab a baby Sabo. This works out since he doesn't have to self-awaken. The Morio is able to grab the Luffy from his trash. And then he's going to use the little baby ability to reveal it, buff his leader to 2, and then now he's going to attach the 2 Don to his leader and put the cards that he wants into his life. So here he's going to, of course, put the big Sabo from his trash in there. He trashes a 5-cost life take Luffy. The yellow Luffy. I mean, the Egghead Luffy is the same thing, but the 5-cost that can self-awaken itself, essentially. So he pops the baby Sabo to reveal the Sabo, buffing his leader to 9k. And here he's going to filter his hand out. I think he's only at 3 cards at this point, so he's very low in cards. Here he's going to swing ace to lead. I decide to counter out with the Kaku and another 2k. I believe it was Khalifa. Putting that into the trash to give me more plays, which essentially at this point, I'm not going to have many plays. But I'd rather keep the Rebecca blocker for this 11k swing for leader because he's trying to get rid of Isho. So might as well counter out of what I can and then block with the Rebecca. I could have took the life, but no point in being too risky when I can counter out. And I'm at a good point at this game. So again, 10 Don. I do have another Gecko in hand. I want to put the pressure on the ace since now he only has 3 cards. I could potentially get rid of it this turn easily. So I swing 7 with the Brook. He lets the ace go. Now all he has left is the Sabo, the other 5-cost Luffy, and a Gecko. I do 1 for Tempest Kick just to draw to find some type of counter, and I end up drawing into another Tempest Kick, so the idea didn't work out. I opt to put pressure, so I swing 9 with the Isho to life. He counters out with the Egghead Luffy. Swing 9 with the other Gecko. And here, I think he's going to block with the Sabo, just so that he could do Sabo ability next turn with a double Sabo. But that's the best thing to do, because other than that, I have no other swings. I'm not trying to swing with the Sabo because that's my other blocker that can't be popped by his Egghead Luffy. And he currently has one in life right now. So if he's able to trigger that off when I have the Rebecca on the field, it's not great because then I lose a block. So he opted to counter out of the Gecko swing, and now he's down only one. I do the Moria, play the Rebecca over the Brook, and I grab the Kaku back from the trash into the hand. And I pass the turn to him. So he's going to start his turn by using the Luffy ability to trash his life, draw a card, and buff him up to 8. And here, this is where Agent Sushi contemplates life for a little while. He's trying to figure out how to go about the turn. He's in a really rough situation. He's, at this point, got to consider removing the board. But he knows I have a 2K and I have 2 blockers on the field, which is going to make it very difficult. He really doesn't have much options. He could put 2 cards back into his life, but he only has 3 cards since he was able to trigger the Luffy ability, which at most can be 3 2Ks or, you know, another big brother, which could be the Ace, the Sabo, or the Luffy. So he's really trying to consider how to go about this turn. Really, this is probably the worst spot for a BY Luffy to be in. So he's trying to think about how he can get how he could pop something on the field at this point, because he could put the Egghead Luffy into life, KO the Rebecca, attempt to go for the Isho, but again, I still have the Sabo and I have the 2K. And I have 2 life at this point, so going for game isn't even in the question for him. So here he declares a swing. He swings 9 at the Isho. Here I'm thinking about how to go about it. Again, he could play the Egghead Luffy, pop the Rebecca, so I'm debating on if I even want to block with her or not. But I counter out with the Kaku that I've been cycling out from the trash. Kind of forcing him to have to do something, because the Luffy that he has on the field isn't able to reach Isho or Gecko. It's 1K short. It can only swing at life at the moment. And he's going to need all 10 down if he's trying to do a Moria play. So here you can see him considering on swinging 8. So I block with the Rebecca at this point, since, again, he could easily pop it. Swing 6 with the Sabo. I take it. And then here he's going to play out the Moria. So he's going to tap 8, play Moria out, and then play the baby Sabo over the Flampe and the big Sabo. So he's going to go for a double Sabo this turn. He's trying to wall up. He's going to buff his leader up to 9K and have 2 blockers on the field. So I think he trashed the Garp there to trigger off his leader ability. Yep. So plays out the Sabo. Man is running a manga Sabo, which is wild to me. Just flexing on me while he was able to. So here he's plays the Sabo, ability triggers, so he's forced to draw 2 trash too, which at this point I can already think that he's just gonna grab a 2K. And after that he passes turn, and now this is where I have to go for endgame. So he's gonna swing 11 at Isho. I just block with Sabo because now I just need to get 1 swing in. I'm just gonna attach 2 Don to each of the big bodies so that it forces him to block and not have enough for the counter. And that's game. If you guys like the content, you guys subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and comment down below what you guys thought.